All right, 49er fans, let's jump into the latest 49ers mailbag video. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to our main Chat Sports channel. You see the link down below me right now, youtube.com/Chat Sports TV. That is the link to our actual main channel that does a ton of overall NFL news and rumors. So we're focused on the Niners here. They do a lot more NBA, some MLB stuff, college, as well as a lot of NFL rumors. So go ahead and subscribe to them down below. That link will be down below in the description box. All right, let's start with our questions here as we get to Marcus, who says, how will they get better at cornerback? Well, we just did a mock draft from Mel Kiper Jr., and he has them taking a cornerback in round 2, which to me is probably the most likely spot the Niners could go ahead and upgrade their cornerback position. If you get later on in the draft, there are some good ones. Maybe one in the 3rd round, maybe the 4th round, but the ones that are really, really good are in the 1st and 2nd round. There's a lot in the 2nd round to be had, and so I would just go ahead and get one in round 2. Bruce, super chat up to the front. Bruce, I'll bet you $10 the Niners make the poor choice to draft Jones instead of Fields, which would piss off a lot of Niner fans. Dude, I want Fields. I do too. You don't have to yell, but I appreciate that. I want it too. $10, I wouldn't take that bet. Even though you and I want Justin Fields, again, we keep hearing Mac Jones. I hope it's a smokescreen because I really don't want Mac Jones, even though I appreciate what he did at Bama last year. Man, I hope you're wrong, and I'm not going to take your bet because, again, I think they might take Mac Jones, even though I'm all out on it. But that's the question right now. That's the $400 million question: is Mac Jones or Justin Fields? It feels like it's going to be Justin Fields. It should be Justin Fields, but the Mac Jones stuff just sits there, Bruce. So I won't take your money, but I do appreciate the super chat. Get your question up front. Colder says, getting away from the draft, how big is the Niners Super Bowl window with the roster we have? Super Bowl windows, you need to realize Super Bowl windows for really good football teams that don't have Tom Brady as the quarterback, very small, right? Chiefs, they win a Super Bowl, they go back, can't win it, right? I mean, the Seahawks, they win a Super Bowl, they go back, they can't win it. So the window is definitely open right now, but that's as far as I want to look forward. I expect this roster to keep getting better. I expect the team to keep getting better. I think realistically the window's open for 2 or 3 years, but I'm focused on this year's window. And if you're asking me about this year's window, it is 100% wide open, depending on who plays quarterback or how good they end up being at the spot. Roy 49ers guy. Which team could you see wanting to trade for Jimmy G besides the Patriots? Geez, that's a good question. I think that there's a couple that would go ahead and think about it. I think Washington is the number one player because they sit at 19 overall. And for Washington to move up into the top 10 to draft Trey Lance or Mac Jones or Justin Fields, it's just not going to happen. And so you look for a football team that has a very good roster, a very good defense last year. They added some pieces on the offensive side of the football. Washington being a team that's very interested in trading for Jimmy Garoppolo besides New England. Throwing the Chicago Bears have a good roster minus a quarterback. I don't think Nick Bosa is going to go ahead and start there. Other than that, that's basically all I can think about right now. I think Washington's got to be the leader in the pack. So I think that if they were to trade him, Patriots, Washington, those are your 2 teams that could make a lot of sense, especially during the draft. Let's see. Next question here. We already did this colder question. Oh, there we go. Sorry. What you think? Will Jimmy G be dealt during the draft? Talked about it earlier. I think he will be. I think they're going to go ahead and trade him during the NFL draft, especially after they draft their quarterback at number 3 overall. But what do you think? Type Y down below for yes. If you think that they won't, then type N down below for no. There will be a pinned comment where I can see all of your answers. All right, next question here comes from EBC. Which quarterback are you most confident in so far, Fields, Jones, or Lance? If you guys watch this channel, you know where I'm going to go with this, right? It's Justin Fields. Fields 1, Mac Jones 2, Trey Lance is like way off camera. Like you can't see him. I don't have a lot of confidence in Trey Lance. I'm going to get burned on it, and that's fine, but I am very much not a Trey Lance guy, and I'm not really pumped about the idea of drafting Trey Lance. I don't think that they will. I think it's between Justin Fields and Mac Jones, and I feel a lot more confident in Justin Fields. Oh, another super chat here from Colder, my man. He says $5 fantasy theory. 49ers trade back to 4 on condition they know Atlanta's pick. They receive 4, 2nd, 4th, and next year's 2nd builds them more draft capital. I mean, I'd like that, but why would Atlanta do that, right? Atlanta wants a quarterback, and most likely Justin Fields, so I guess you would get them Justin Fields instead of drafting Justin Fields? I don't know. It makes my head hurt. I don't think it's going to happen. I like the idea of getting more draft picks, though. But I think the 49ers trade up to 3 for a reason. They could trade up to 4 with Atlanta. They wanted to go 1 above. There's a reason behind it. JR831. How good will our team be with our line? And if we get Justin Fields, I think really good. I think that's what the Kyle Shanahan is betting on right now, that with Garoppolo, they're a playoff football team. With Justin Fields, they can go even further beyond it being a playoff football team. That's got to be why they traded up to number 3 overall. They expect the quarterback at 3 to be ready to rock as soon as possible and be very good. And listen, I like our offensive line. Some people don't like the interior side of it. I like this re-signing of Trent Williams. I think the O-line will be top 10 in the league. And if that's the case, then that's about all you could go ahead and ask for, because I do feel like, not going to have the best offensive line in the NFL, but honestly, pretty darn good. Big Baller Niner. He says, who's your favorite non-quarterback draft prospect in this draft? All right. If you watch the show, think about it. You've heard me say his name a lot. I'll give you 5 seconds. Who is it? Say it with me. Patrick Surtain. There you go. Yeah, you said it with me, right? I love Patrick Surtain. I think he is the best non-quarterback in this entire draft from a defensive perspective. You can make an argument for Parsons. The linebacker out of Penn State could be a little bit better, but I just think Surtain's going to be one of those 5 to 10 year starters, and I would love him. I'd love him in San Francisco. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately, because you got to draft a quarterback. But he's my favorite non-quarterback player on defense. On offense, it's Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is absolutely fantastic. But in terms of just overall favorite, it's got to be Patrick Surtain. I think he's going to be great, and I expect him to go up the board somewhere between 7 and probably 12. I don't think he falls past Philadelphia at 12, but there are a lot of teams that could use a cornerback, and he, to me, is the best one of the group. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going, make sure you guys are subscribed to our main Chat Sports channel because we go live the entire night, really the entire NFL draft. We're on all 3 nights. We had like 1 million people watch on our main Chat Sports channel, so go ahead and subscribe to that one. You can just search Chat Sports in the YouTube link above me or go down below youtube.com/Chat Sports TV to go ahead and subscribe for the best sports coverage in terms of not only the NFL, but of tons of other teams as well. Check them out over there at Chat Sports. They do some really good stuff. Super chat from Montage Productions, my man. Is that LeBron James? It is. Okay. Who do you think will start if we draft Fields, Jimmy G, or Justin Fields? Who do you think is better? If they were to keep Garoppolo and draft a quarterback, they would most likely go ahead and start Jimmy G week 1 just because he's going to be more ready. Unless Fields blows him out in training camp, which I'm sure they'll have an open competition, they'd probably go ahead and be fine with Fields starting if he was better overall. But I'd expect Garoppolo to start, and then eventually Fields would go ahead and play. But they think Justin Fields is going to be better, right? I mean, they're number 3 overall for a reason, so they're expecting Fields to be better, and I would have to go ahead and agree with that. D-Man Dooney says, re-sign Sherman on a cheap deal. Also love Chase's comment Mac Jones. I don't think they're going to re-sign Sherman. Sherman doesn't think they're going to re-sign Sherman. I don't think anyone expects them to re-sign Sherman, but he remains unsigned. So I wouldn't hate the signing. I expect Sherman to sign probably day 2 or day 3 of the draft for the football team that was unable to get a cornerback and wants an upgrade at the DB position. Even though I'd be a fan of them to getting Sherman back, I just don't think it's going to happen because obviously it would have already happened if the 49ers wanted to go ahead and re-sign him. And Mac Jones, I think Chase probably said the same thing that I've been saying, so I'd have to agree with him. Irfan Mirza with that cool cat picture we see all the time. For SF offered a first-round pick for Darnold. That's crazy. I mean, it's from a good source, but I just don't see why they'd offer a first-round draft pick for Sam Darnold. Like, do they love Sam Darnold that much? And more specifically, why would the Jets turn that down? Now, I know the report was they weren't sold on Zach Wilson, worried about his shoulder a little bit, cleared it up, and then trade him for a second. If that's the case, and they did not want to go ahead and take a first-round draft pick, it is a little bit surprising. But I guess that's how it works. I buy it because I believe it's true. I believe the reporting on it. I'm just surprised that they'd offer a first-round draft pick for Sam Darnold. Goodness gracious. But if anyone can fix Sam Darnold, I mean, I guess you go ahead, and beat Kyle Shanahan because, goodness gracious, Adam Gase absolutely ruined this poor kid. I like the move to do Carolina. I think Carolina's going to go ahead and get an offensive skill player at number 8 overall, whether it's Pitts or Chase or Smith, and add him to boost him with Sam Darnold. But I'm surprised they offered a 1 if that's the case. Omar, if Niners draft Fields, how long will it take for the Niners to get or win a Super Bowl? Sorry, I changed my profile pic. Is that Spider-Man? I think it is. I got a duck to look there. Yeah, it is Spider-Man. Omar, no problem. I don't mind the profile pic change. Either way, I think they can win a Super Bowl with Justin Fields, but you also got to remember, not a lot of Super Bowls are won by rookie quarterbacks. So if they draft him this year and start him this year, are they guaranteed to go to a Super Bowl? No idea. But I think the thought process is you draft him to be the starter for many years, starting with 2022 being the spot to go ahead and win your first Super Bowl as the 49ers' new starting quarterback. All right, you guys should agree with me here. If you've not liked the video already, give the video a thumbs up if you are just so excited for the NFL draft. 2 weeks! Stay with me. It's 2 weeks from tonight. Goodness gracious, we're so close. I can absolutely not wait. I am so pumped to go ahead and get the NFL draft started. Give the video a thumbs up. I already have. You guys should like the video as well because the draft is going to be here before you know it. And all of these questions will essentially be answered because you guys are asking draft questions. All right, Willie says, I think Bosa will win Defensive Player of the Year. It's hard to beat out Aaron Donald, which some guy in a bar found out the hard way. No pun intended. You probably saw that story. However, yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have a chance. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Why can't he win just Defensive Player of the Year? How about Comeback Player of the Year? You can probably win that for sure, right? He didn't play last year after the injury, and so Comeback Player of the Year would make a lot of sense. I think he will technically have a chance, right? I mean, shouldn't he have a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year? The guy's an absolute beast. But hasn't Aaron Donald won it like the past 5 years or something like that? I mean, Aaron Donald's been an absolute beast. So hard to beat out Aaron Donald for Defensive Player of the Year. But, I think Bosa's definitely in the category for being a guy with a chance. Super chat from No GQ Penna. I appreciate that. He says, trade McGlinchey for big fries and an orange soda. Orange soda is like my least favorite soft drink. I don't drink a lot of soda, like at all. My favorite's Dr. Pepper, next is Coke, and then Pepsi. But orange soda. I'm so out on orange soda. I think orange soda is gross. So if I were to trade McGlinchey for a Big Mac with fries, that's fine. But get like a Dr. Pepper in exchange for that. How about that? Is that I haven't had Dr. Pepper forever, though. I don't drink a lot of soda, but still. If I had to pick one, it would not be orange soda, but I appreciate that. That's fine. Bruce says, how well do you think Fields' second pro day went with Shanahan? He seemed to be pretty happy taking the Fields, or talking to Fields, sorry. Everything I saw looked good, although I just have no real interest in a pro day where the guy is wearing gym shorts, has no pads, has no helmet, is throwing on a scripted throws, and has no defense, right? It's like, I could look good on a pro day. You could roll me out there with like a week of preparation and like, yeah, Mott looked pretty good on his pro day. It wasn't too bad. I'm playing against nobody, right? So I take it with a grain of salt, but I think that we start to see that connection between Fields and Shanahan a little bit more with the pictures being taken and stuff. And so I think it went well, and I think Shanahan seems pretty happy talking to him at the same time, which is the goal, right? You want your quarterback and head coach to be in each other. I think that's the overall feel here about which quarterback they take at number 3 overall. I still think they're going to take Fields, and this week just further, it's further my love for the idea of taking Justin Fields, and so I feel pretty good about that.